if things go well, the BlackRock ETF should trigger a bull run. We should see. This is what the United States is. Yes, it's very powerful economy. Yes, it's very powerful military, but it is based on one thing and one thing only. That might can only survive if
I was Trump right now, I would say, DeSantis, I like you. Come and join my team. Everybody wins. Your numbers and my numbers, terrific. And all of a sudden, we have these Congress hearings and people talk about UFOs.
You always bring up a story to shift the attention from what you don't want people to focus on.
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
All right, everything is rolling. Welcome to another episode of the Full Gambit podcast. And I'm very, very, very happy to see my good crypto friend, Theo Tsavousis, back with us finally in the new studio. Theo, what do you think about the new digs, man?
Love your new place, man. It's awesome.
Well, I can't take full credit for it. We are in Frame Studios. I'm a part of the membership at Frame Studios, and this wonderful podcast setup has been afforded to me. And it's night and day. I love it.
I love it too. It's
very
awesome.
Very comfortable.
Very. I'm so cozy sitting on a couch instead of a chair that might collapse any moment.
Speaking of all collapse, everybody seems to think that crypto is dead and Bitcoin is about to drop off and all this other good stuff. The ETFs with BlackRock is getting the headlines. Are we not paying attention to something in crypto? Is something happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing that needs a little bit more attention?
Well, look, it's not an easy topic because there's a lot going on and it's not a unified force. There are diverse forces behind the scenes with different agendas. And so you've got, you've got the people who want sensible regulation, who have in fact proposed it and recently passed it.
Yeah, and we got some movement there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like it's going away from the SEC.
I'm going towards the securities, the CFTC. And so it's going more towards being
commodity,
a commodity rather than
which we knew what it was. We knew what it was, right?
Well, there's still the Bitcoin maximalists will beg to differ. They're going to tell you that everything except Bitcoin is security, but that remains to be seen. But we have good traction in the right direction. And so it's bullish for crypto.
How did the Ripple court case kind of wrapping up, even though the SEC is saying that they may appeal it or whatever, have to do with this, with the judicial ruling, have to do with this legislation just coming out and being passed? Because I was surprised it passed so quickly.
Well, I think that some common sense is entering the space at last. The governmental structures.
Not Elizabeth Warren.
Forget Elizabeth Warren. She's a joke.
She's another J word. I can't call it.
So, she's got her axe to grind. She knows nothing about crypto. She doesn't understand it. The billionaire hedge fund managers and some of the wealthiest people in the world are now standing up and saying, yes, Bitcoin is a thing, like Larry Fink and BlackRock. And
even Powell.
Yeah, even Powell. He had to admit it's the truth. Elizabeth Warren is living in some Barbie land. I don't know.
Even call it Barbie land. It's
some fantasy land where she makes up.
But she does sound like an absolute moron. Like
she is, but on purpose. I mean, her entire thesis is to ban crypto. She outright wants to ban it. And the thing is that we've got a lot of cooler heads that are now prevailing and moving the crypto industry in the right direction. Because, what we saw, first of all, a judge came out and said that, that XRP was not a security if you were a retail investor that bought it. It was only a security if you were an institutional.
Right. Because you're expecting profit. Every institution expects profit.
Exactly. So it's more nuanced than these 100-year-old rules and tests, the Howey test, whatever. We need new laws and regulations about crypto to be thought of, because this is a new form of financial instrument that has never existed before, and the old laws don't address it properly, because it looks like, like quantum mechanics. It is and it isn't. It's a security and it's not a security because of the application.
Right.
And so it's not cut and dry the way the SEC would have liked it to have been. It's nuanced. And so what we're looking at now is more crypto-friendly regulation and asset managers waking up and saying, hey, we're going to miss out on this if we don't get going now.
Remember a conversation we had several weeks ago when I was trying to be all utilitarian. It's like, hey, let's all hold hands and come together and we all can make some money here and don't fight it. And some smart people are getting aboard. I'm like, I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
Well,
you were right in the sense that, look, do not trust the fox in charge of the hen house.
Right.
Okay? Because ultimately, Bitcoin is not good for the US dollar. It's long term, it's destabilizing the position of the US dollar. Larry Fink stood up and said, quite rightly, that it is an international commodity and that it should be taken seriously, and that Yellen has said that it is a potential threat to the dollar.
I don't like when people keep saying, okay, I understand what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't like when the people that don't know what they need to know keep pushing it as a threat. I think if we just look at it as a financial instrument, international financial instrument that can be bought, that appreciates in value, that holds value as a storage of wealth, and when you need
scarce.
And when you need some dollar bills, y'all, you could use it, you could leverage it, you could sell it. It is what it is.
Okay.
The US dollar, or whatever the universal dollar will be, I don't know what it is that they'll come up with after the dollar loses all its control because of stupid policies and idiotic presidents.
Who knows how long that's going to take? That could take a decade. It could take longer. We don't know how long.
How about it stays? How would they actually get their act together and realize, you know what? We're stronger with the dollar. If you want bricks, if you want US dollar, if you want pound, it doesn't matter. You could leverage your Bitcoin against it, and it's fine.
True. But the point is, when you are the traditional financial system and you're all in on the dollar and you have total control of monetary policy, you do not wish for change to come upon you. You do not wish for something else to take your place, to become an international.
But it doesn't take its place, because think about it. Think of the dollar as, okay, the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, they are instrument of wealth. Let's say it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an instrument of wealth, right? It's storage of wealth, right?
Yeah.
The dollar is the measurement, right? The measurement of that wealth.
Well,
Right.
Yes and no. And the reason
Yes.
the reason I say no is because it's like Einstein with time. Before we thought time was invariant, a second was always a second. Einstein came up and said, no, it's relative. Time goes faster or it goes slower, depending. Same with the US dollar. The US dollar is not a stable sense of value. It depreciates over time. And so what's happening, because so much dollars exist, the value of the dollar is going down rather than
the dollar.
So looking
the value of everything should be going down because
not the value of everything going down.
No, I mean the value of all monetary assets of
inflationary assets go down over time. Fiat money goes down over time, right? Bitcoin is deflationary in nature, and therefore the value goes up over time.
Right, which is what. So you need both instruments. So take it this point. If Bitcoin is deflationary and it's rare, I only want to leverage it. I don't want to part with it. I don't want any financial institution to hold it on my behalf. I want to keep whatever I have.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
So when it comes down, if I say, hey, you know what? I see $100,000 investment I want to get in. I don't want to sell off my Bitcoin because I know in a couple of months it'll go up in value. But can I leverage it to get a loan or whatever the case may be? And I'll use that fiat money to make the investment. And it should be that. So for me, I look at the dollar like I look at the inch, like I look at the centimeter, like I look at the millimeter. It is a measurement.
It's true.
It is a measurement.
My point was only that it's shrinking. The measurement is shrinking. Okay, so that's what my point is. The thing is, though, that, and we're getting a little off topic, but the point I'm trying to make is that the traditional financial system cannot afford to have the US dollar replaced as the world reserve currency by Bitcoin. And the trend will become more so that Bitcoin will start to take the place of the US dollar because you have this commodity that you cannot inflate, you cannot debase. There will only ever be 21 million of them. And of course, we know that many of them already lost or wallet addresses are lost. So maybe 4 million are unretrievable, which makes the remaining even more valuable. We're at 19 million Bitcoins in existence now. The remaining 2 million will be created over the next 120 years. And then we'll have our final Bitcoin, but minted. And then that'll be the end of it. No more Bitcoin will ever be created after 2140. And that'll be the end of creation of Bitcoin. So the point is that we, at the moment, might have 15 million Bitcoins that are accessible. There may be another 2 million in the next 120 years added to that. And that's it. That's all there is to it. That is an incredibly powerful, incredibly scarce asset. There's nothing like it in the universe. Nothing. That makes it an incredibly strong candidate for long-term, I'm talking 20 years, as world reserve currency status.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay. When you put it like that, I understand why it is a threat, right? But, and here's the but, nothing lasts forever.
Granted.
Nothing lasts forever. You remember Rome was the superpower. Then it was Britain, the great empire. Now it's the U.S. Let it be someone where wars cannot be waged. You can't drop a bomb on Bitcoin. And it brings stability. You still have your instrument. So the US dollar is still valued within the territories that will take it. The continental United States, the Caribbean, Latin America. And then just for trade, hey, we trade.
I don't see it ending like that.
You think
I think this shit gonna blow up so bad because
what is this?
I don't know. I lost something.
You lost something?
Yeah, you're back. I mean,
Bop.
Yep.
Yeah, boy.
So
that's the Bitcoin talking.
it is the US dollar is a house of cards simply because we're now looking at almost 160% debt over GDP. Or close to that, 167, something like that, right? And we are now getting to the point where servicing debt is costing the taxpayers
more
trillions of dollars, right? And so at some point, it becomes unsustainable. At some point, look what Fitch just did. Downgraded the U.S. Treasuries from AAA to AA plus, right? Okay. That is a shot across the bow right there. Okay.
When I saw that, because I was talking to someone and they said it, and I was like, no, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And so for the first time, we're seeing people standing up and actually saying, hey, the emperor's got no clothes. You know? And this is what the United States is. Yes, it's very powerful economy. Yes, it's very powerful military, but it is based on one thing and one thing only. That might can only survive if the US dollar is the world reserve currency so that you can print with impunity.
But the printing and impunities would have it at risk of losing its.
Listen, there's no going back. There is no way to fix this. There is no way to unfuck the situation. Excuse me.
No, man. There has to be.
No, there isn't.
So you're trying to say there's no way.
No, you cannot go back. You cannot fix this problem anymore.
So you just have to print, stop, interest, bring it down, print. Print.
The only way is to continue printing. That's it. That's the only way to keep. It's unsustainable.
I need to hurry up and get my key. I just need to get my key. I need a fishing rod and a boat.
Look, the CEO of BlackRock has seen an opportunity, and he's
one hell of an opportunity at that.
He's going to go make money. And the chances of, according to Bloomberg a few days ago, the chances of him getting his request with the SEC for an ETF are somewhere in the neighborhood of 65%. For the first time in history.
I thought they already had them rolled up on the registry. Like they approved a couple of them to put on the federal registry already. So it's all about approved. It's almost there.
Right. But they haven't got the spot ETF, Bitcoin ETF yet. They haven't.
How long do you think it could take to them to do that?
Well, it's supposed to be the first date it could be is August 13th.
That's right around the corner.
If it misses that, then it could be, I don't know when the second date is, but it's like a month later or 6 weeks later. That
you think they're ready to go on August 13th?
They're ready. They're already ready to go. Yeah, the ETF, everything's written. Everything's ready to go. Just throw the switch.
So here's something that someone said on the last podcast, and I know you would take issue with this. They said that institutional money was already in Bitcoin and they've been manipulating it from the jump. Bitcoin is centralized.
No, Bitcoin is not centralized. That isn't the point. The point is that It's too easy to manipulate because the volume is so small. The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is minuscule. I don't remember the exact figure, but it's something.
And the volume has just hit an all-time low. I think it's like a 3-year low.
The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is something like 30%. The rest of it is locked up in hardware wallets.
Really?
Yeah. Only 30% is on exchange. So it only takes $5 or $6 million to move the price.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
That's it?
That is fucking it. The volume is so low, you can move the price with very small.
Hold on. So you try and tell me
sale or purchase.
You trying to tell me right now that if I go whisper in Brave airs right now, the prime minister of the country say, Brave, BlackRock going to make some money off some Bitcoin, right? I think it's time that we kind of figure something out. Buy 5 million in Bitcoin and put it in the central bank and just wait. That gonna move the price?
If you buy it on the open market, but if you're going to buy 5 million, you're going to do an over-the-counter trade. That way, it's not on the books. It doesn't move the market at all. OTC doesn't change the price.
So you think So you think there have been a lot of OTCs over the last couple of weeks?
BlackRock has been buying Bitcoin OTC like crazy.
So when this ETF hits the market, just say it's on the 13th, and it happens, you don't think the market's gonna kind of go up and
it should take off as soon as the ETF
are
announced. It should take off, absolutely. The only concern that we have is the macroeconomic backdrop, where we're seeing that, the Fed may hike again.
Oh yeah, we know that though. Yeah, we know that. They already said they will.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that
something to break
from the amount of tightening that they do.
But the thing about it is, you don't think they reached their goal already? Because think about it like this. For me, I saw 5 to 4 and 4 to 3. If the goal was 2, I think you've done everything that you could. You're dropping a full point now. So the next CPI more than likely will be at 2. There's no need. You could have paused.
We will see. But the sentiment recently with the last announcement, you saw.
No, they're going by 2.5. They're going, yeah.
You saw the market drop from that because it was unexpected that they wish to continue. That's what they're saying, that they plan to continue with tightening, that, they're not going to turn on the money printers at this moment or at any time soon. So
BlackRock CEO, please call your boy and let him know what time it is. Yeah, let him know it's Lambo season. Let him know they need to get some of these profits into these big corporations to fatten their balance sheets.
Well, I tell you, we should, if things go well, the BlackRock ETF should trigger a bull run. We should see a 5x in Bitcoin.
How long do you should see a 5x in Bitcoin?
Within a year.
Okay.
Within a year.
So 5x for Bitcoin, the current price is about 29.30. I'll say 30. So within a year, it should be at 100, 150.
Correct.
That's not bad.
Correct. It should be 100, 150, provided the Fed doesn't break anything.
What do you think they're trying to break? Because obviously they fishing for something. It can't be jobs because you're 16 months out away from the general election. Biden pushing how good his economy is and Bidenomics is. What are they trying to break? What industry are they going after? Because they're going after something.
The thing is that there is an upcoming election, right? So you can't break it before then. Otherwise, Biden's
that's why I feel
right?
they got to turn on the money.
So
because the people saying they ain't feeling it, they saying the economy good, but if the people ain't feeling it, the only way the people feel it is the money flowing on the ground.
Very good. And so that may be the reason nothing breaks until after the election.
So get Biden in again and then just break up the place.
I mean, you heard it here. You heard it here first.
Oh, I cannot imagine. This is one of the reasons I love the fact that I live in the Bahamas is because I don't have to deal with the United States bullshit and their politics.
We get the fallout though.
We do, but it hasn't been as bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
I thought I would like feel it a little bit more. I haven't felt it. And I'm not privileged. Like, like, don't come around me with your hand up like, boy, Jay, you say you don't feel it, nothing, give me something. Nah, like that.
Right.
Right? But overall, I expected it to be a lot worse. Yes, we have inflation, but, you know, I hustle and it is what it is. I put my money to work. I work very hard and I get what I need to cover my responsibilities.
Yeah. Right. I mean, not everyone can say that. But we are a small island nation. I mean, well.
And then, you know what I like to see? When I go to the food store and I'm looking for change and they put them US dollar in my hand. That's how I know things good. When you freely give me US money, that's it. When I go to the grocery store and you give me US money, if you go to the gas station and get US money, if I go to a bank, I went to a bank. I ain't calling in because I don't get the teller in trouble. And I had to cash a check. And she was counting off the US. I looked to the left and I looked to the right. I say, you sure you're supposed to be giving that to me? And she was like, you gonna say something then? I was like, no. And she literally just keep counting off. And I was like, right now she's trying to give me this fake US money that they just put in a drawer. But it was real. It was legit. Like she gave me maybe $3,000 worth of US. And I was like, is that good?
So
like someone just dropped it in your drawer and you just giving it back to me for free? No, nothing? I was like, wow. Them cruise ships really doing good.
I have never seen a teller do that before. I was
like, is this a trick? Like, am I supposed to report on it? And I gave her a tip and I walked out and I did what I needed to do with it. But we're back beyond 2019 numbers, according to a lot of statistics with airlift, hotel bookings, and the cruise port is doing pretty good. It's a shitty deal that we don't get as much as we should get from the cruise port, but that's another conversation. I would love to have Keith Bell and someone who was from the other side that made the deal so we can kind of figure out exactly what's really going on, because I don't want to have that political conversation. I want to know what the skinny is.
Right.
You know? But it looks good.
Well, okay. So the great thing is Bahamas came online and all the doomsayers were wrong.
Do you know Sarkis?
Yeah.
Can I talk to Sarkis? I love Sarkis.
I don't know him well enough to call him and say, take a call from you.
I know some people that know him.
Yeah.
I know some people that know him. When this case is all said and done, I would love to sit down with him. I would love to. Even if before I have the camera equipment, Sarkis, if you want to do a Netflix special, I'm ready to go.
Okay. Well, he's very proud.
He's a great guy, though. Yeah. From what I heard, he's a really good guy.
He's really upstanding, like his father.
Yeah?
Yeah, his father's awesome.
Nice. But what they did to him and with Bahamas, I still don't understand it. It never sat right with me.
Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
He can get his comeuppance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. He's been doing some. While I was traveling, I heard he got a big win in the New York courts.
Yeah. By some estimates, at the end of the day,
and I want it to be his because that's his intellectual property. That's the part of it.
He won't see that. I don't think it'll come to that. But what he will see is probably $5 billion in compensation for what they did to him.
Talk to me nasty.
Like that. Probably he will see that.
No, I would love for him to get his back though, because my thing is this: you work hard, you pour your heart and soul into something, you put your own skin in the game, and for someone to have the balls to murky the water the way that they did, cut labor the way that they did, to intentionally steal it from you, mislead the government the way that they did, and then you have people that you supported look at you right in your face, because there's some things that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I got you.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go down. Next day, swearing. Week later, office meeting. The day later, oh, we gotta go with the Chinese. Dirty.
Yeah. Politics is.
But Bahamas came on stream. That's really Saka's on.
Bahama came on stream.
The port is done.
And instead of cannibalizing Atlantis, which is what they thought would happen, the pie grew.
Yeah.
The pie grew.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And you see what's happening in the outer islands.
Yeah.
The airports are too small to, like, the whole we're back and open for business is really, that campaign is taking off. The tourism numbers in the outer islands is crazy. And it's, if you vacation in the outer islands, you have to have money.
Absolutely.
It ain't cheap or that bubble.
Absolutely. And the thing is that if you look at the entire world market in tourism, and you see what percentage we need of that to thrive, it's very, very small. So we can grow tourism exponentially if we have the capacity to do so. Because, if we have, the cruise port is helping, additional airlift is helping, the additional hotel rooms, the Airbnbs, the out islands, all of that.
I think we need to focus Airbnb programs, land grant programs to the out islands. I don't think we need to. I mean, maybe you may have your anchor project, your nice marina, hotel, 5-star thing in certain islands, but I don't think you need to have the grandiose Atlantises or another cruise port anywhere else. Keep it super simple. Thing on heads and beds, airlift, micro markets, European, Saudis want to get in here.
I don't know, man. If it was me, I'd turn Andros into Hong Kong.
Which part of Andros? Is it North Andros? Talk to me. Talk to me.
North Andros.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's
Kong.
the hub. It's the hub. International airport. Everybody will come. The minute you open yourself up to it and say, okay, we want to develop this portion of land to whatever city, however you want to call it, the investors would come. I know the Saudis would play some stupid money up in here.
So
why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a possible project. But as far as crypto goes, coming back to that, I think short term, we should see a bull run shortly.
So it's just a matter of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're ready to go.
I believe so.
We talked about Gary and how dangerous of a political game he was playing. Now that the powers that be have showed their hand and they are interested in making some money with cryptocurrency, what do they do with him? Because he's made a complete fool of himself. He's put his ass out there for everybody to see. How long is he the chairman of the SEC?
I don't know, man, because, I think he was merely doing the bidding of his masters.
Yeah, and his
masters are the likes of Elizabeth Warren, and all
of them need to go there. Like, just let's sweep them out one time. We got an election coming up. That Indian lady don't need to win her seat. I mean, she claims to be Native American. She's not. Like, you flamming on the most. How do you flam on your authenticity? How do you flam on that? Can't take you seriously. Every time I see a tweet or quote from Elizabeth Warren on Watch a Guru, I puke. It's so weird.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of those in the United States.
But
A lot of politicians. I mean, they are the oldest of any country in the world. That group of politicians. They really all need to be put out to pasture.
You see your boy froze on camera?
Who?
Mitch.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Mitch was I can't remember what he was supposed to be announcing, but he went up to the podium and he literally glitched. He like paused and they had to take him off. They were concerned. I don't know. I didn't follow up to see if it was like a medical situation, but he literally like was talking and he just did this. And he was there for like I think it was like a good 30 seconds. And I was like,
his mouth stopped working.
I was like,
well, I mean, you know, Biden does that every week.
hey. I have to go to the U.S. I need them to treat me right at customs. No, but Biden needs to go. And speaking about Biden, do you think the Congress is going to impeach him?
No, I think he's too well protected.
You think Biden is?
Mm-hmm.
Even with all this Hunter garbage, you saw the revelations that his ex business partner sat down with Tucker and was giving the tea about how he used to come on the phone calls and
Devin, whatever his name is. Yeah, absolutely. But
they call it a soft abuse of power or whatever the case may be. They always like to like fluff it up. Like, come on. Like, we know what it is. You're buying access to the desk. You're buying access to a policymaker. You're buying access to an entrenched, seasoned politician that knows how to move, whether he was the president or not. He still had access.
He was the VP at the time.
Right. He had access to the president. He had access to friends that pass bills and sit on committees and get pressure and make all type of things. He could get anything done.
Look, every time something bad about Biden comes out,
Indictment on Trump
the next day.
He has two more jurisdictions, so who knows? A lot of my controversy.
Shift the focus.
But okay, and speaking of Trump, right? He said, and they can't stop him from staying on the ballot. Mm-hmm. Even if he's in prison, can he be president from the prison?
Well, we're gonna find out.
Would he have the power? Would he have the power to not exonerate, pardon himself?
I'm not sure that we're in
uncharted territory.
Totally uncharted territory.
If it were me, I would. For me, if I was Trump right now, I would say, you know what, DeSantis, I like you. I am sorry we got off on the wrong foot. I think you can actually govern. Come and join my team. You be my insurance policy. In case I go to prison, as soon as you get the presidency, you pardon me. And everybody wins. Nobody loses. Your numbers and my numbers, terrific.
That's a good impersonation.
I've been working on that for a while. Here's the thing. I don't agree with everything that comes out of his mouth, but I think that the indictments are bullshit. I know he did some. He's a sore loser, right? And he did some weird things. But to pretend like that you are doing this because of some great fucking wrong, you're protecting yourself and holding on to power. You're doing the same thing you're accusing him of doing.
Right.
It's just that you're doing it before the election. If he had done this, and now you're setting a Nazi precedent because a former president could be indicted. So Bush,
right,
you could be indicted for 9/11 and the war in Iraq.
Right, but no one's going there.
They should. There's some real evidence there.
What should happen is this matter should be brought up to the Supreme Court right now, and
Trump has a Supreme Court
to put a stop to it, to put an end to this persecution.
So you think he should? You think
until after the election? Then if you have evidence,
Hold on.
talk about it.
You
But
think
right now,
you think Donald Trump should take his lawyers and go directly to the Supreme Court
and
to file a motion to stop this
shit right
this
now.
malicious prosecution.
Absolutely, because what you're doing as the Biden camp, what they're doing is that they're trying to destroy their opposition so that they have put them off balance, caused them to spend all their money on defense rather than on campaigning.
Right.
And this is unprecedented and has never been.
None of his criminal indictments can happen until the 2024 election because the dates haven't been set. They could easily set them in 2024 and drag them out.
They could, yeah, but
until such time. So the cycle is always, instead of Trump has a rally in XYZ, he was before the courts today. Right. And you notice what the district judge told him. He had to be there, and he couldn't deal with a tamper with a jury member and all. Come on, man.
Right?
Like, really?
Yeah. This is unprecedented in the United States. I mean, you see this in banana republics.
I don't like that term. I don't like that term. I don't like that term, banana republic. It's racist. I'm offended. No, but you're right. You see these things in third world countries and dictatorships and all this other stuff, and you would think that America is above this.
Yeah,
but
there used to be.
You have someone that's weak, scared. And I know this is...
It's much worse than that. It's when the federal agencies, three-letter agencies, somehow get co-opted to run interference.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a problem. That's a big problem.
That's election interference right there.
Yeah.
Right?
But no one's talking about it. We see the hearings all the time. We know what happened.
The media covers what the media wishes to cover.
Well, they didn't cover it. They fluffed it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. They fluffed it all the way up. Even now with the plea deal that Hunter was supposed to take, I looked at the coverage of it, and I was like, "What is this?"
Exactly.
His father's a sitting president. He the accusations. This is scandalous, and no one's taking it seriously.
So it's unbelievable where we are, and the thing is that we're now entering an era where you're not allowed to question it anymore. You're not allowed to say, for instance, that elections are stolen. You can't have that opinion. Now you can go to jail. For vocalizing.
Because think about it. Yeah, that was his opinion. He thought it was stolen from him. Okay, what is this? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Didn't he demit office? Didn't he leave?
Yeah.
He left.
Right. But
for spreading lies. That's what the charge is. He spread lies.
So we are in unprecedented
them news anchors better watch out for spreading lies on COVID-19.
Well, the thing is that
those fudge vaccine numbers.
Who gets to define the truth? That is what it all boils down to.
Okay, my American friends, for those that follow Trump, okay, they will go after y'all president, y'all boy. Y'all go after the media. Y'all have it there. Y'all have it now that they didn't do the trial runs that they said they did. The statistics were bullshit. The vaccine was bullshit, and they still monitored it anyway. They pushed a narrative. They put your health at risk. Class action lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, you need.
Let's go tit for tat.
You need a justice system that works.
Of course.
Right.
That you could believe in. That you could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a very difficult situation.
Speaking about justice, Free Tate, look at my boy.
Oh.
Off house arrest. They said he would never get out of prison. They said he would never get off house arrest 7 months.
Don't worry.
And the actual judge looked at it and said, this is circumstantial. At best, gotta let these boys out. They gotta have their day in court.
Mm-hmm.
So it's looking like the file that's as thick as this looks like a bunch of bullshit.
Well, don't worry. The game's not up yet. We'll find more. We'll cook up some more.
Listen, my boy, listen. I would love to catch a bag and go and interview that man. I would love that shit. He's such an interesting character. Do you watch the one with him and Tucker?
Yeah, he's great.
You saw the one with Candace?
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that man. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What you laughing for, Toya? What you laughing for over
there? Yeah, but look, the narrative does not conform with what the powers that be wish.
You're right. You're right.
And so he will not be allowed. They will throw everything they can at him.
I mean,
and if that doesn't stick, something else. They can try something else. The thing is, if you piss...
But you see all the city boys kind of winning. Like, he getting out, and you saw, what's the actor name? The Kevin Spacey. He recently won his case. It seems like all this Me Too, like the Me Too movement taking some big hits.
Yeah.
I think the feminist movement taking some big losses. I blame Amber Heard.
Yeah, I mean, entirely so. But at the same time, there's no end to manufactured.
That's the sad part about it.
Right. And look at Joe Louis, Albany.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
They've indicted him on telling his friends and pilots, what stocks to pick, because his company, Tavistock, was going to buy this, that, and the other thing, and that price would go up. And so he told
the boys to get it.
He says, this is a good buying opportunity. You make some money.
Yeah. Make sure to do something for yourself. Just buy. If you don't want to, that's fine. But
so, I mean, why would they bring charges against him when fucking Paul Pelosi, right? And when we look at the statistics of the politicians,
yes, sir,
they outperform Wall Street. They outperform hedge fund managers.
Speak it. And they're sitting on all the committees. They do all the military contracts, and the minute they pass something, what do they go and do? Buy it up.
And so they're allowed to get away with that.
Of course.
Right?
They don't get paid enough to you.
But
that's what keeps them from teething.
Joe Louis, I lost.
Go ahead.
One. Yeah, back.
But Joe Louis.
That's
what keeps them from teething and keeps them off. It keeps them honest. Let them invest in the things that they make the decisions on, and they move the market, and they enrich themselves, and they could tell their friends and family to do it. But me, looking out for someone that works for me to say, hey, you know what? XYZ, I'm about to do something. It may be in your best interest to go and do this because, you know how I go. You won't be like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go and do what you got to do. I don't see anything wrong with that.
He pissed off someone. He pissed them off because of the way he treated SBF.
Ooh.
In Albany.
Oh, speaking of your boy, some charges got dropped.
Yeah.
We close to being a free man.
We can give money to the Democrats, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get charged for that.
I didn't even, you know what? I didn't even connect Joe Louis, and I forgot.
Yeah.
What they want him to do? Keep him in the box there and don't let the police in? What could he do?
Well,
he's a part of this community. He has an entire development. He always doing something. You want to piss off a government for y'all?
They're going after him for that because he dared to mess with one of their boys.
For fro. Pickle eating.
That same one.
Jesus.
So that's what happens. You get smacked down. I mean, I think they're going after CZ partly, you know.
Yeah, they doing CZ dirty.
Yeah.
I think CZ time might be up.
They're going after CZ because he
blew it all the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. CZ was the architect behind that fall of it. No, let me know that. Because that's not allowing Sam Bankman-Fried and his cohort to take responsibility for what they did.
Right.
Right? But CZ was the one who was like, oh, yeah, you really have a glass house. Let me pick up this rock. Yeah, bitch.
Look, it was simple. All he wanted was his money back. That's all.
One tweet, though.
That's all.
But they fucked themselves when they answered him, though.
Yeah, totally.
They should not have done that.
Totally. Yeah. But the point is, he destroyed, or at least he had a hand in the house of cards.
He was like
FTX was coming apart.
I don't know if the same thing happened to you in your experience when you were in high school. Like you would like if someone who was instigating a fight, it's like, oh, he hit you. What you could do?
Yeah, of course.
That's all he did. He just like he was a promoter. Everybody come and feed off this carcass.
Right.
Get them out of the game.
So.
But I don't think, and I said this before, I don't think the powers that be are going to pump or allow him to be enriched off the next bull cycle. I don't think he'll be around for the next bull cycle. And if he is, it's going to be his last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Take your ball and go home.
Yeah, his days are numbered.
Yeah. Or unless he what's the word I'm looking for? Rebrands as just a decentralized exchange.
Yeah, I mean...
And I don't deal with Bitcoin anymore. I'm just here for all the degens. Your 100Xs. I'll take all this volume. and y'all can play with y'all stock and let Bitcoin just be an official ETF, and that's the only place you can get it. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting times ahead.
Very much so.
There's huge potential for a bull run, and it's long overdue.
Yeah. Because I think people have been thinking these little recoveries that we've been having was the bull run, but it wasn't. No. It really wasn't. It was just that, a little recovery, some life, people like poking the bear and seeing if it still has a little bit of vibrance in him, and it was not. Mind you, it's been healthy. Right. We could have made some money in this era.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a real bull run isn't until we've passed the last all-time high.
Say that again?
You're not really in a new bull run until you've passed the previous all-time high. So we expect to go past 67,000.
Hold on. Let me get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
You try to tell me the bull run cannot start.
No. It not that it cannot start.
It doesn't officially start.
It isn't a real bull run until you've surpassed the all-time high of the previous bull run.
So we got a 2X first.
Yeah, the 2X would... Once we break past 67, then...
So pretty much you're trying to tell these people to get their money now.
Yeah, definitely. Before the ETF launches. Because everyone is going to be FOMO in after that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Definitely agreed.
Yeah. So line up your dollars now and get ready.
Before you go, I just want to catch your stance on this. I saw a cartoon talking about how it was so refreshing for the masses to kind of start to look at the government for the liars that they are and kind of wake up and push back and rebel against programming. And all of a sudden, we have these Congress hearings and people talk about UFOs.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, they're out there. The truth is out there. What do you think about that?
Well, it's the, again, distraction from, you always bring up a story to
Distract you from the shit.
To shift the attention from what you don't want people to focus on. And so, not that UFOs are not a real phenomenon. They are. But they've been around for a very long time, and that information has been kept quiet for a very long time.
But now, because we need a distraction, they will play one of their trump cards.
I think so. I think this is why they're playing it now. This is why all of a sudden this is getting play. This is the first time a couple of years ago was the first time that any civilian or military pilot could openly discuss UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them. Before then, it was taboo. You couldn't touch it. You spoke about that, and your career was
you're a joke.
Yeah, so it was on the quiet, and then all of a sudden the policy shifted. Now we can talk about it. Now all of a sudden we've got case officers who will handle you. You've got psychologists who will talk you down. Mm-hmm. They've got the whole system in place to deal with whatever stories. And so it's pretense that this is all new, but that's all bullshit. This has been going on. It's been going on for a long time. I have read volumes on this, and Nolan, I've forgotten his first name, wrote The Security State, 2 volumes of it, and talks about everything that was declassified from Freedom of Information Act, and how, if you go back to 1950s, the head of General Dynamics, the head of Boeing, they were all talking about how a lot of information that they had was soon going to be released. The Nazis had found, they had been doing research on this. The Allied bombers had talked about the foe fighters that they saw, these objects that were flying along with Nazi planes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where Foo Fighters came from. Foe fighters is what they were called because they were false. And Google it. You'll see the Allied pilots talked a lot about foe fighters. They're driven differently than with engines. And so the point is that in 1955, everything went dark. Everything went quiet. Just as the CEOs of these corporations that were at the cutting edge of fighter planes, fighter jets, whatever, then it went quiet. So from 1955 to now,
2023,
we've 2022, we've had nothing but denial. This shit don't exist. It's it was balloons. It was gas clouds. It was this. No, you're crazy. That.
But now, because we need to take the smoke or the attention off Joe Biden and this shit.
Well, I don't know if it's just that, or it just might be the next fear, the next thing to fear, because you had terrorists after 9/11. You had to fear that.
Can we protect ourselves? Are we about to be enslaved?
Exactly.
The reptilians are amongst us.
Then we had the fear of COVID and pandemics. And so now we're going to have the fear of aliens. That is they're now slated to take over.
You know what?
The narrative.
I'm an alien. You know what? I'm going to end there because I can't even jump down in that. This has been another great episode of the Full Gambit Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have anything to say about this, go in the comment section down below.